The January Nintendo Direct is dead. Switch hype is a lie. 2017 was a fluke. Okay. Nintendo Switch has had crazy momentum, unmatched momentum in many ways. In fact, as I'm writing this script, it's just been revealed to have sold nearly 300,000 units in Japan in a week, thereby passing PS2, the best-selling console of all time's first year sales in that region in under 10 months. That is insane, and a direct result of the excellent work Nintendo has done creating, supporting, and marketing the platform in 2017. But what if 2018 is the year they start to stumble, and the catalyst of that streak ending is the Nintendo Direct being a bust? First of all, I want to say regardless of what happens in January, the Switch will be fine. This video isn't meant to be the typical Nintendo doom and gloom you'd see on a video with a title like this. It's just a thought experiment because everybody and their mother has their heart set on this mythical January 2018 Nintendo Direct that they never said would happen to begin with. Do I think it'll happen? Maybe. Am I positive it'll happen? Absolutely not. Nintendo, to a certain extent, is a creature of habit. They usually do a Nintendo Direct around January. They did a major presentation dedicated to Switch last year in January, and that worked out great, so why wouldn't they this year? Well, why wouldn't Nintendo do most of the things we expect them to do but don't any other time? Besides the fact that we don't run a company that's been profitable for over a century, they love to subvert our expectations, admittedly to varying degrees of success, which is why I think that's the first major possibility that can ruin the January Direct. After all, what better way to ruin expectations for a thing than to deny us the joy we'll receive from it existing to begin with? Cause yeah, Santa not bringing what you hope for is sad and everything, but if Santa told you Christmas was all a lie and your gifts were too, how would you feel then? After all, they don't necessarily need to do the Direct, which will do just fine in the first quarter of the year regardless of what they do, thanks to stragglers buying into the platform with holiday money and gift cards. They haven't experienced Mario Odyssey. Hell, given the Wii U's poor sale numbers, they probably have yet to play Splatoon, Mario Kart 8, or Breath of the Wild either, so there's plenty for them to look forward to in the first few months of 2018. On the negative side though, a lot of the devs and publishers with announcements we could have seen teased may have went back to the drawing board after Nintendo's decision to delay 64GB Switch cartridge production, as reported by the Wall Street Journal earlier this week. Not every dev is as efficient as Nintendo, and they need the extra space. Sure, they could always offload the majority of their games onto us by way of mandatory installs, but that no doubt has an effect on sales, and who wants that if it can be helped? A slightly less disappointing possibility is the Direct existing but focusing on smaller announcements or games we already know enough about. Up for a Yoshi for Switch Direct, anyone? That's totally a game that can use a half an hour Direct about how it's Yoshi again with a different skin. How about Kirby Star Allies? Unless I'm missing a lot about those games, something tells me they won't be big enough in scope to warrant a full-on Direct, and the IP themselves aren't big enough to hype people up for it. Just look at the type of games we usually get Directs for. Pokemon is a juggernaut, so even relatively minor announcements like Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are enough to warrant their Direct. Although, to be fair, that Direct also had a few other Pokemon announcements. What other Yoshi and Kirby announcements could we possibly get? Xenoblade Chronicles 2 recently got its own Direct, so it's not unheard of for smaller games to get their own Directs. However, that game was a huge question mark. The Xenoblade franchise for most people is a mystery, so having a Direct to explain the world and rules of that world is understandable. Kirby and Yoshi are known quantities. You either like them by now or you don't, and I'm positive you already knew whether or not that game interested you from the time they revealed the initial gameplay trailers. There's not much more a Direct could do for games like these, in my opinion. I don't know, I could be wrong. Maybe there's someone watching this that's dying to see the full title of the Yoshi Switch game and wants a full 25-minute Direct on it. Who knows? In the same vein as the last scenario, Nintendo could bring in 2018 with a Nindies Direct, which, while cool and interesting in their own right, Nindies showcases aren't exactly the window into an amazing year for Switch games that everyone is hoping for. Last year, it was used to follow up a major blowout event wherein we learned of exactly what Nintendo Switch was going to be in detail. We saw Mario Mario Odyssey and a few other game announcements for the first time, and many of us that went to one of the Nintendo Switch's press and fan events got to finally get our hands on the console itself. An opening ceremony like that would be tough to follow up on with a Nindy Direct, especially if it's filled with games that we know are on their way with little else. Even I am waiting for more info on Morphe's Law, an announcement for the King's Knight Treasure Trove DLC release date, and more information on the next Travis Touchdown game, but those announcements need to be contextualized as a smaller part of a bigger picture. Think how disappointed everyone was for the Metroid Prime Federation Force announcement compared to the Samus Returns announcement. Prime 4 being teased and announced made it easier to have excitement for the thing that not everyone wanted, because we knew the thing everyone wanted was on its way. Nindies are awesome, but they need to be ancillary, not the full picture. Realistically, the January Direct doesn't need to be a dream scenario where we get every big announcement known to man. All Nintendo needs to do is give us a snapshot of the first 4 to 6 months and throw in a big announcement or two. I don't expect to hear much about Switch Online, especially if it really is being delayed to fall 2018. I don't expect any Breath of the Wild size announcements. That's what E3 is for, but we could at the very least get a first and third party game reveal on the level of a Splatoon, some unannounced ports, and maybe even a glimpse at Pokemon for Switch or Metroid Prime 4. They could even give us a sneak peek of whatever Animal Crossing will be on Switch. We already knew it was coming from what they said about the mobile game back when Switch was still NX. Just show it to us already. The Switch event last January gave us a small idea of what we could expect to see on Switch from Nintendo's past and Nintendo's future, as well as some past third-party games Nintendo fans likely missed out on up until now, along with a few small new third-party games. Now that third parties had some time, they should have something new ready to show off. Ports like Wolfenstein 2 and Bayonetta 1 and 2 are great to fill time until dev teams have enough time with the hardware to create something even better. So far we know we're getting Project Octopath Traveler, Lost Sphere, Mega Man 11, and a few other games. The January Direct would be a great place for a little reminder of those to pad a few new announcements. More games for the first batch of Switch optimized third-party games that are more tailored to the platform should be rolling out soon. Showcasing some of those at the top of the year would be really smart. I'm getting lost in the weeds here. The point is, Nintendo could very well let the people with crazy expectations down next month by not making the right announcements or foregoing a Direct in January altogether in favor of a later date. That alone won't hurt or kill Switch's momentum. They'd have to announce nothing at all in Q1 for that to happen, and we already know 1/3 of what Q1 is going to be. We'll have support from third parties, and possibly Kirby and Yoshi make it out before Q2. Sorry this video is on the shorter side. It's my birthday as I'm writing this, and I didn't want to spend the whole day writing, but the show must go on. If you still want something to watch, check out the other video we uploaded this week. It's Logan's 2017 wrap-up video. Anyway, those are my thoughts. What do you think? Are you banking on a January Direct? If so, what do you think we'll see? Let me know in the comments. And for more videos like this every Tuesday and Thursday, make sure you subscribe and click the bell. Okay, that's it for me. See you next week.